start from the Team Vodafone car. Mark Winterbottom slots into second. Garth Tander holds on to third. And we've had a spin already at turn 1.
Super cheap cars pointing the wrong way. And McConville out of shape backwards just at the exit of 1. He got bumped and skipped up over the curbing.
James Courtney gets squeezed from pole back to 4th. You'll see Ken McConville. Ooh, contact.
In fact, it was the other super cheap car that was involved in that down the inside, launching into the side of the number 12 Team BOC entry.
Andrew's car had a very badly damaged rim and one of the tyres from where he got caught in the sandwich, and we've fixed that, checked all the vital points, can't really see anything, so he's back out there. So now we've got another one coming in, and we're just about to do that now. So
he's got a
alrighty, as I watch it on TV, and the back wheel's just fallen off the car.
I tell you what, Team BOC, you're full of luck. What was it, Chinaman, Black Cat?
I really don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So anyway, we'll have a look at it when it gets back here.
The front left has departed car number 14.
John Bowers got trouble in the front right-hand corner of the car. Now, I wonder if that's related in any way. But that's going to be game over for him. You can see that new section of front mudguard that I talked about.
Thinking maybe the tyre went flat. This will be the answer for the Paul Cruikshank racer. He only just clipped it too, hence all the gravel.
This might tell a little more of the story here. Watch the front right. No, it's some kind of a mechanical failure. You can actually see the front right wheel collapsing in the guard. All of a sudden, it's got about 6 inches of toe in. So that's a bit odd. Something strange has gone on there. The highest placed driver who's done both. Have a look at this, by the way, up in turn 4.
The Singer replay should provide the answers. This was going this battle for lap after lap after lap.
Lowndes looked like he sort of got there, and then all of a sudden nothing was happening. He wasn't far enough up on the inside. Tags Max Wilson, round he goes. Here it is, Singer replay, and you'll see what happens. I thought he'd got up there, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. Then biff, there's the contact, no doubt about it. Roland must have been looking the other way. Russell had nowhere to go. He did make a spot though, and then Craig receiving the drive. Stephen Richards on the exit of 7.
This is James Courtney's Gwen Falcon, and there's trouble for Alan Gurr in the Irwin Tools. Car number 26, one of the Gary Rogers Motorsport cars, also caught up in that, it looks like.
Steering arm damage on Alan Gurr's car in the front right-hand corner. And Steve Owens in the wall here in the Autobahn entry
at
too.
Turn 8.
This will trigger a safety car if he can't get the car out of the way. Double yellow flags flying there. Debris on the racetrack. Steve Owens' car looking worse for wear. The rear wing's off the car. They are deploying the safety car. We've gone full course yellow.
No, left stopping broke. I think we made contact in the first couple of corners.
Steve Owen and Alan Gurr, the two casualties of the first lap of this race. Well, the first half a lap, if you like, of this race. And so too, Jason Bargwanna in the WPS Falcon, major damage to the front right.
James Courtney incidentally dropping back to 10th. Here's the Zinger replay. Let's see what happened. Bargwanna making a little contact there with the Fujitsu car. Then they all bottled up. This is on the exit of 5. Round goes one of the Valvolinkers. Just a traffic jam. It's a heck of a mess. Alan Gurr, Brad Jones.
Well, essentially, Alan Gurr was caught up in that twice. And this is Steve Owen, the exit of turn 8. Look at the force, the car that is carrying that car out of there, and that would have been a very scary ride. He said that something broke on the way in, possibly as a result of the contact. Look at this.
The first shot of that, the early part of that replay, looked to me like he was side by side with somebody there too, which is not a good place to be at turn 8. And I think the Valvoline Cummins car we saw earlier up at turn 5 was the Lee Holdsworth car as well. Let's have another look at that.
This is down to turn 9.
It's already happened at this stage. And
what often happens at that turn, if they do hit, Neil, as you well know, is that it spews the car over to the other side of the track. This impact was more direct, and it kept Steve Owen's car on the racing line.
Probably don't have the information in hand that we do. But Jack's car stopped in the middle of the corner, which I'm sure he'd readily admit. Here's the Zinger replay to show the story. The car cuts out here, so Jack's car just literally starts to slow up, and Paul had nowhere to go, gave him a hit, and now he's had to serve a penalty as a result. I'm sure that all the parties involved will talk about this afterwards. And but yeah, that's unfortunately a little bit of a misread from the boys here in race control. They think that it's a driving infringement, Paul Dumbrell, and in fact it's not.
So Courtney now has position 5. Scaife goes up the inside, contact again for Shane Price and Dean Canto. So it was actually Canto who ended up in the tangle, so that's off the Zinger replay, not Jason Bright. He was an innocent bystander at the end of that.
John Bowes into the wall, onto the tyre barrier there. Car 111 with Glenford's entry. That's up at turn 7. Grab reverse, which is sometimes not easy to do when the car's jammed up against the wall, but it's got front left damage. Car's not steering correctly.
Neil mentioned now up to 12. An earlier incident shows John Bowes at turn 7 on the Zinger replay. This record equaling weekend. When crunch, and as he tries to get it back around, he's had to use reverse more times in 3 or 4 turns than I reckon he's used in a long time.
Getting reports also that Garth Tander and Lee Holdsworth's cars are both leaking fluid. Whoa. That was spooky. James Courtney leads the race, 27 seconds up, but he's not taking his fuel yet. He's going to take about 30. Oh, he's off the road and into the wall. Jason Bright at turn 4. Gone out there with the fuel load on, too much understeer and smacked the wall. That's because of the huge change in the balance of the car. And this is Jason Bright wrestling.
Zinger replay puts Jason Bright deep into the tyre barrier. Speed carried him out. It was a 22nd.
More aggressive across the curbing at turn 2, and there's the reason why Max had to come in the wow entry. Then there is the front air dam off the car. Now, is that precariously positioned? Can an official safely get to that, or do we need another flag to deal with it?
Replay will show us where it happened. It's up the top of turn 6, so that is sitting now, I guess. Oh, right, that's right down the back there.
Yeah, it's at 12, and fortunately...
Grab it, get off, quickly.
Very nicely executed, unlike what happened in Bahrain last year.
Good shooter.
Fastest lap of the race, Garth Tander, 1 second margin. Great use of cold tyres. Here's what happened to John Bowes. Given a little touch up there by car number 50, Cam McConville. Those two are good mates. Zinger replay tells us the story, and I think that it'd be fair to say that Cam might find himself in a spot of bother with race control over that one.
See the touch right there. A little bit of panel damage. Sends Bowes spinning off. It's been consistent. Lowndes beating Kelly in terms of time by as much as 3/10 of a second, and off he goes. Todd Kelly into the ditch at turn 1.
That wasn't me, Matty. There's brake fluid all through the cockpit.
Did you hear that? Brake fluid. Richard Holway, Rob Starr, and this will probably produce a safety car. He's well buried in an awkward spot.
And our Zinger replay shows that by the time he got to the end of the straight there was nothing he could do.
Talking to Rob Starr, team manager here for HRT, he confirmed exactly what you're saying. It is a brake problem.
Garth Tander's got 9. Oh, someone big trouble.
Yeah, that's John Bowes at the end of 7. Question is, can he get out of there?
No.
Doubt it. That's in a very dangerous position with 3 laps to go.
9/10 of a second is the margin, first to second, and Garth Tander being instructed, don't take any risks. Now, this is awkward because it's a dangerous spot. Max Wilson with damage on the front left corner of the wow. There's that front left damage on Max Wilson's car. No big deal. Not going to cause too much of a drama.
Here's the Zinger replay. It was contact. Contact between Wilson and Bowes.
So, strategic manoeuvre there from FPR to get that job done. So, makes good the manoeuvre that he pulled. The lap earlier. Contact. Stephen Richards on Cam McConville.
both of them came towards turn one. McConville coming out of pit lane. Richards coming right around at full speed.
And it's, they've asked Owen off the road here. And Paul Forgey's asking Courtney to go to reserve on his fuel pumps.
That's bizarre where he's ended up.
Way off the road on the outside of turn 4, so we'll keep an eye out for Courtney and see what the issue is there. The car may have coughed.
Or with the throttle or an electrical problem.
Oh, somebody else is gone. Well, Steve Owen's gone again.
Deeply buried in the sand down there.
And the tyre barriers as well.
Sorting on the radio, no brakes.
Okay, so he's come back down, and no brakes is not what you want to hear, because I believe that he's at the back at the very end of turn 7. Look at the pace.
Safety car, full course yellow.
Make sure all the injectors are squirting. Make sure you've got squirted all the injectors and all the plug leads are on.
Not good to see anybody go off the road at high speed. We understand that Steve's obviously out of harm's way there and okay, but certainly a spooky incident. Started like this. Zinger replay tells the story. Stephen Richards, Steve Owen side by side, turns 2 and 3. And on the dirty line there, look, there's no grip at all for Steve Owen. So he does a little motocross ride across the bumps and out into the paddock. And then whatever happened out there has triggered some other mechanical issue, and he's ended up with no brakes down at turn 7. Seeing a replay from the other angle, and just really underscores the fact that when you're off the race line here, Matthew, then you've got absolutely no grip at all. And we suspect probably a brake line. So the car's right out of harm's way now. Quicker cars at the moment, so still some issues to weed out in the WPS car, and his teammate Jason Bargwana pointing the wrong direction. This is on the exit of turn 6, I think. Yes.
It takes a shiny-looking V8 supercar and turns it into a dust-filled warrior, doesn't it? Take a look on the Zinger replay. There's definite contact between Dean Canto and Jason Bargwana.
There's going to be a huge amount of dirt there. Drivers are currently being warned. So the pit lane will open shortly. Here's another Zinger replay. Just have a look at the amount of rubbish on the road here. It's amazing. Bodywork flying off there on the exit of turn 5.
In race 1, we had a safety car at the end. Race 2, we had a safety car towards the end. And right now, big trouble for James Courtney.
Yeah, see, he said something broke. I just heard him button onto the radio and say, "I got a problem with the car, something broke." So he's perched in a very awkward spot. He's just on the approach to turn 4 on the inside of the road here at the sweeper. The place is covered in dirt and everyone's well wide. And we've gone full course yellow because that car's in a massively dangerous position.
Jimmy Stone.
And in fact, Jim Courtney behind him, James's dad, on the right. So he's okay. He's talking on the radio, but a lot of damage, and you can see the amount of rubbish all over the road.
Racing team look on and try and figure out what went wrong. This Zinger replay will give us an indication. You'll see a tyre barrier and a wall there. Bang, that's big impact.
That was some sort of collapse in the front left-hand corner of the car. Watch this again, watch the front left. Look at that, the car's already down on its haunches. Something's let go and pitches him into the wall heavily.
You can see
right then is when it's good to have the hands device on.
Boys, I've just spoken to Ross Stone. Of course, you heard Neil over the radio that James said something has broken. Ross thinks that something in the rear has given way, something in the rear of the car.
And it's sticking right out halfway across the track, hence the safety car. So not only was there big impact, and then he found himself right out here. Watch this, whooshka.
Well, the rear wing end plates on that car are pretty good because it managed to flick up and sit itself back down. Wow.
So Tanner in the VE Commodore slots straight into position number 1.
Trouble in the back of the pack.
There goes Dean Canto straight into the sand trap. So 30 becomes 29 cars. Made it down towards the end here. Look at him stuck on the left on the Zinger replay.
I think he did it on his own. He was out in the dirty line there. There's absolutely no grip out there, and Dean's fired at very high speed straight into the gravel trap on the outside of turn 1 and can't get out of there in a hurry. Here's the other angle of it. Look up the top right-hand corner on the Zinger replay, and you'll see that he fires backwards into the gravel trap down there, which does a good job of arresting the car, but you can't drive out of it. So Tander has control of the field. Craig Lowndes has gone back into position 15. Zinger replay, watch this. Poof, whoo. That was very lucky for Andrew Jones. That was about as close as you want to go to having a major down there. A car length or so from Rick Kelly. Here's the zinger replay of the trouble that Craig Lowndes had. Woohoo, he couldn't pull it up. Looks like he was having a bit of trouble. I'd say he locked a brake down there. I heard him talking about locked brakes on the radio, and he was snatching at gears in the process. And here it is again, zinger replay from the other angle. He had the presence of mind to take his foot off the brake pedal and get himself through the gravel out the other side. Bit of a rooster tail of gravel as he tried to gas it up out the other side and on his way. But down the order now. Fantastic start for Jamie and also for Garth Tander. All side by side, Stephen Richards into the wall. I think he made contact with Todd Kelly. The engine's running, he's got first gear, he's digging his way out of the gravel, but that's a bad moment there for Stephen Richards after a tough race yesterday.
He had to really knuckle down yesterday to make his way and make his mark in the field. He did so with a top 5 result. Down the back to the hairpin, Whincup gets on the inside of Tander and will take top spot.
Was the sunlight intensity through turn 7. A lot of drivers said to me last night they couldn't see. Zinger replay, watch the contact between Todd Kelly and Stephen Richards, resulting in Richo leaning up against the tyre barrier. Here's another angle.
The front right caught contact with Kelly's car. And the tyre barrier doing its job here. Tander gets back at turn 5 against Whincup, where everybody goes off straight, and he's ended up going off on the inside. The zinger replay, that's why he's been spun around, so he actually didn't go off. He had to get off to get back on.
Yeah, there'll be more to that story.
Which is that? All the work that was done by Mark Winterbottom on the zinger replay went down in a big puff of smoke. That's a massive lock-up at turn 5.
And that, I would imagine, is going to be a pretty big mark on that tyre. Monster smoke screen.
Had it not been... Whoa, 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 that's ugly for Jason Richards. Oh!
And significant there that it's had a front left failure. So something in the front suspension has broken on that car, pitching Jason off the road.
Strange, something just broken on the upright. Just gone in, it's not hard.
But when you see the zinger replay of that, you'll notice that the front left wheel is pointing in the wrong direction. There it goes under peak load when he's first applied the brakes. And
there is a passenger.
Fortunately, it's not a concrete wall down here that he meets. The gravel does its job and the tyres finish it off for him and dampen the impact.
This will be a different view of it from the Team Vodafone Falcon. Not unusual to see lockups there, but you can tell that that was something entirely different. It started way back and it was really scary from the word go. Jason Richards has had a love-hate affair.
Before it actually got to the gravel trap, and the damage around the front of the car looks pretty light. Here it is again on replay. Watch this, front left. You can see him just trying to apply and then reapply the brakes. Actually, he was a little bit lucky in some respects, if that just easing away ever so slightly. Oh, trouble here for Jason Bargwanna. Hard up against the wall, left side.
WPS Racing Falcon caught on the
safety car
straight away there. Make sure that physically he's okay, but gee, that car will be pretty ugly when they peel it away from there. Back on Friday, Jason Bargwanna came over the top here and rode his luck all the way along the grass. On the zinger replay, you'll see that the luck runs out. Kabam!
So did he end up just wide of the line on the dirty side of the track and just run out of road, or did he have a puncture or some other failure?
And some front panel damage there too for Canto. So there's been some impact somewhere along the way for Dean Canto. You can see Steve Owen ends up pointing the wrong way.
Safety car is about to be deployed. Oh, we've got a car on its roof. It's Paul Morris at turn 7.
This is a very, very nasty accident. The Team BOC car has pulled up alongside to make sure that Paul Morris is okay.
It's Brad Jones, who I think is just going to go over there and make sure that he's okay.
quickly onto the scene here. We certainly hope Morris is okay in that one. That's a horrendous sight. The Zinger replay will show contact into the wall, and it flips the Team Cirame car upside down and rolling.
Yeah, fortunately, the rollover, now that I've seen it, wasn't as bad as otherwise might have imagined. So side by side, the reason was Brad's car tripped over the curb, and they did both back in there.
Oh dear.
Nasty incident. And Paul Morris will be wondering what on earth happened then. All of a sudden, it just would have been crunched from the left side. The guardrail's done a great job there of just cushioning that impact. And in rollover terms, it's not that bad. I mean, it's a pretty wild incident to witness, but a relatively gentle rollover as Paul now scrambles free.
Of course, yellow.
It's about 100 metres further along from where Paul Morris went off earlier in the race.
And also Jason Bargwanna yesterday.
Dean's moving and okay. This will compress the field again.
That part of the circuit has claimed quite a few victims, and he's Pukekohe struggling. He's as fit as they come. The Zinger replay will tell us the story. Keep your eyes on top of the screen, I'd say, because he's about to come into view now. And more impact.
A few breakages this weekend. You know, on the loaded side of the car, we saw earlier. We saw earlier that situation with Paul Morris, and that was obviously as a result of contact, but we had a problem with Jason Richards' car, had a problem with Jason Bargwanna's car, and now a problem with Dean Canto's car.
A brilliant start by Garth Tander and also Jason Richards. So Kelly drops back from pole, back to third. 3 cars go off. Wright's one of them. Scapes another, and so too is James Courtney.
Jason Bright, Mark Scaife, James Courtney, they were a little pack, all went off simultaneously down there on the outside of one. There's trouble here for Russell Ingall at turn 3, and Paul Ranisic has gone round here as well. So's Mark Scaife. There's no grip out there. People skating all over the road. Fabian Coulthard.
Big trouble there too, because they're going onto the, you can see all the clay on 2 Jack Daniels cars. We'll see how they're going. I'm sure there's a lot of people wanting to follow the fortunes of the youngsters. Look at
Jason Richards.
Jason Richards, he'll shoot off. Hold on, Richo.
He won't have enough lock to grab that, and around it goes.
A little bit of lawn mowing out there at Winton from the Kiwi.
Just too hungry under brakes down there into turn 11, and he's just locked it up and aquaplaned across the road.
Zinger replay will show you what happened at the first corner. Tander goes through. Now keep your eyes to the left of your screen, and you'll see where the trouble starts to get created. Jason Bright really just ended up taking evasive action to get off there and stay out of trouble. And then it all happened again for Mark Scaife when he got to turns 3 and 4. Whee, and that was Jason Richards. That's what happened to him.
See what happens right at the apex of some of the corners around here. It puddles up between where the racetrack joins the ripple strip. Oh, he's given him a whack. Todd has given Garth Tander a whack and turned him. He may get penalised for that. He had to think about going up the inside at turn 7, but he didn't make it stick. Here it is again. He thinks about it, you see. He ducks to the right, but he couldn't get the job done. And into the right rear corner of Tander's car. Round he goes.
He was showing the speed, told HSV, so this will give you a look out the back of Garth Tander's car. Whack!
See, his brakes locked right at the very last moment. That's why the nose of the car just suddenly shifted sideways.
Another incident here involving Mark Scaife at turn 1, 360. One of those days.
Down the order was Paul Ranisic. He's 24th at the moment in the Team Kiwi car. Todd Kelly off the road and buried in the sand and filthy with himself.
That was our race leader.
Can you hear there, Matty?
This is your Zinger replay of what happened to Todd Kelly, looking from Mark Winterbottom's car. He's found himself deep there at turn 11. That's the entry into pit lane. Right. time. So
nice tentative start for Mark Winterbottom. Russell Ingles in the sand as well.
She's all over.
And this will mean a full course yellow once again. And it's just on the exit of turn 6.
I got a hit by Dumbrell in the right front. She's busted something in the right front.
Craig Lowndes has plummeted down the order too for some reason. We need to just find out what the source of his troubles are. Might be mixed up in all this perhaps. Oh, there's the trouble between Russell and Paul.
So that happened way back, and then Russell had complained that that broke something in the front.
He was just out of sequence. He got trapped when that safety car came out. He hadn't taken his stop then, Dan, so he effectively has now taken it. Oh, more of them slipping and sliding off the road. This time Mark Scaife motocrossing his way back on to turn. You know, they're just trickling around at the moment. As soon as they lean on him, it'll be a problem.
Seeing a replay will unfold what happened to Todd Kelly, and that's pretty much what happened to him last time, except this time he only put 1.5 of those wheels in the dirt. Last time it was all 4, and he decided to...
In these conditions and potentially make a passing move. Hasn't been a good corner for Holden Racing Team, turn 11.
11 and 12.
See it puddles just at the apex where the water sits in next to the ripple strip, and around goes Andrew Jones at turn 11. Let's go to cop a driving infringement here too. This might tell us why Andrew Jones is going to be penalised for something. They're going to penalise him for that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at the chaos that almost unfolded behind him. Paul Radisich was caught up in that with Dean Canto.
I might not.
The other way around.
I might have only caught the back end of that radio transmission, so it might be the other way around.
John Bow gets turned around, right around. This has been an extraordinary day at Winton. Mark Winterbottom took the gamble, went on slicks, found himself midfield, found himself in trouble with Max Wilson. That bent the steering on the Orcon Ford Credit Falcon. This was contact that left Mark Winterbottom filthy. Look at him, holding onto the steering wheel, trying to find it. And as a result, Winterbottom's day has ended like this, with a touch of the Todd Kellys about it. Same position. Now this has set up a very, very interesting scenario. As you just see the car number 5 disappear into the distance. And Jamie Whincup.
Watch down the inside, but James will have to pick his spot very cautiously here. Trouble! Contact there, and they all go every which way, and Courtney has to come to a stop.
The biggest loser out of that was James Courtney. Craig Lowndes has lost position after position after position, but there was no question that James Courtney had the pace and the tyres to get around him. Now they're all spearing off.
So that Craig saying that he got a push there.
Oh, the temperature is
Greg
gone.
Murphy off the scale, not happy either at the moment. You get little nudges in the back of the car, the side of the car. Scaife off the road again. I heard him talking about the fact that he couldn't believe his luck. So he's gone off down at turn 11, back on again at 12. This is where a lot of the trouble was yesterday. Look at the amount of dirt, debris, mud, gravel that's on the road down there. It's terrible.
It's been extraordinary. That's been the Achilles heel for the Holden Racing Team across this weekend. This should solve the problem. Well, just shot straight off. And he was very lucky to get out of there. He's probably lucky that it has been raining so heavy, because yesterday when his teammate went into there, he had to get pulled out of there twice. Quite visible there down the main straight. Will Kelly go for Bow here? Yes, he will. Whoa, a little too much. Clunk. And now Lee Holdsworth gets a spin, and the victim, John Bow. Off the wall, off the wall. Oh, dear.
To Neil, Tasman Motorsport, WPS, Will Davidson, of course, we saw come in for his stop with slick tyres. The reason for the delay there
Oh, sorry about that, Gibbo. Jason Richards is going to go into the wall.
And that sentence of mine was about 10 seconds too early, because Jason has done that, I'd say.
I've just gone out and hit the wall, guys, sorry.
He's off on the outside of the turn 6-7 area.
Driver limit to Jason.
The lead has been chopping and changing. Stephen Richards and Jamie Whincup have been arguing and dicing, and I think Jamie's teammate Craig Lowndes has had trouble there at turn 1. So there is one very fast red car moving through as James Courtney has a look on the inside. This is one of the super cheap cars of Cam McConville.
This is up towards...
Oh dear, and Lee Holdsworth, big impact, front and rear. Cam McConville still out there spinning around on the grass.
This will be a full course yellow safety car will be deployed for this one for certain. That's a lot of damage on Lee's car. I can see him moving in the cockpit. Rear of the car is a heck of a mess, and it's nosed up in the wall there, and McConville was off as well. He was 7th, obviously stepped off the group. McConville's down there on the exit of turn 7.
Okay, buddy, are you okay? I think so.
Oh, that's major damage.
And remember, this team just went through a monster rebuild for Dean Canto's car after New Zealand.
Going to look after him a lot. Not good signs. He's a fit young man, but he's in a bit of trouble at the moment.
Let's see whether we can find out a bit more about this incident. Now, we're looking from the rear of Cam McConville's car. Look up to the back of the shot here. Exit at turn 4. What is there to see? And you see that way off in the distance, that is the Valvoline Cummins car rotating rearward, and he's gone rearward into the wall, which if you've got to go into the rotten thing, then that's definitely the way to do it. But the back of that car is destroyed.
Well, that's what it's all about.
That's right.
So
you watch this again.
Yeah, this is Lee Holdsworth going in.
He's in the middle of screen at the moment, moving to the left of screen. Focus on the left rear tyre. And you'll see that slowly but surely he finds himself at a turn-in point where he's got the loaded side of the car on the white line.
Right there.
See how far to the left he is? Too far. Look at the dirt starting to fly. He turns in. Yeah. There's no grip on the dirt and the paint, and away he goes.
You see he's on the brake there too, so in between.
The progress of Stephen Richards is the interesting one in all this. Replay here of more trouble between turns 3 and 4. And was Dumbrell helped then? Possibly.
It was Dean Canto behind him.
Oh, Bright's off on the outside of turn 4. That's where Lee Holdsworth went off. This is, if you weren't watching our coverage yesterday, the borrowed Brad Jones Racing chassis, and Rick Kelly is off the road. And he's done it down at the sweeper, and he rejoins at turn 8. That's a weird one. He'll have to address the situation. He can't just sort of take advantage of that. It's something that's mentioned in the driver's briefing. So Kelly's gone off on the outside of the sweeper, I'd say.
Zinger replay will show Shane Price all having trouble at this particular part of the circuit.
That's down at turn 11.
Turn 11. Now this is turn 4. And this will be the Fujitsu Racing.
And that's Bright running wide down at 4.
Pretty sure that was Greg Murphy's.
Yeah, it is.
In-car radio that we heard, team radio, and he was complaining there about what happened with Rick Kelly and Alan Gurr, the Irwin Tools entry. There's a bit of slip sliding away to get back on.
Problem with Murph, when he yells on the radio, he yells so loud, it scrambles your brain in the commentary box. You can't think. And Todd Kelly's got problems on his car.
Coulthard.
And he's going wide at 5 as well, rejoins at 8. I'm not sure that there's much else they can do, you know, except they can't take advantage from it. That's what they've been told. There's the replay of the incident down at 3. Wow, a few rotations for Alan Gurr.
Full 720. Control, so this is looking out the back.
That's Dean Canto in behind him there, so...
Looking at Cam McConville, who's...
I wonder whether or not there was any contact between those two.
That's why for Max Wilson on the Zinger replay went deep into the infield. And he's been out there playing in the mud.
That's what he scooped up in the process on the outside of the sweeper at turn 5 on this car. And Max can't see. Have a look at the screen on the thing. All he's doing is smearing clay on there at the moment. 1:25.9 for Rick Kelly, fastest lap of the race. Mechanical black flag for John Bowe. Max Wilson can't see where he's going. and they've got good temp in them at the moment. Look at this down here at turn 10. It's on, and look at that, look at that.
Nice work, Jamie, nice work.
Great opportunism.
Nice and smooth, buddy.
Here it is again, and he's very unhappy about the fact that there's no blue flag telling Dumbrell to get out of the way. He's trying to push him out of the way. He dropped the spot to Wincup.
Flashing. This should give us an answer on Paul Dumbrell.
It must be pretty slippery out there. So Jamie Wincup and Garth Tander are continuing to dispute the lead. This is why we saw all that steam and garbage. And I think Tander has got Wincup back. When he pulls it back, he's looking for softer.
Whoop, but trouble. Turn 12. Sorry to interrupt the lesson.
I was just waffling. There's a lot of debris on the... actually, it was that one of the Siramate cars. It was Paul Morris in the gravel trap at turn 12. And I believe Max Wilson left debris on the road down there. Safety car comes out. This is a break for Will Davison, the race leader.
It's Jason Bargwanna and Dean Canto coming through. And by the time that Morris came through, it was, hold on, folks, I'm going in. Now, as a result...
A lot of people ran wide. This turn 12, it happens every year in race 3. We suspect it was Max Wilson that tipped the dirt on the road down there, and you can see how many people were trapped by it. Suddenly there's absolutely no grip.
Look, they all went off.
Half a dozen cars, and then the radios erupt and drivers are warned. Once they're forewarned, they're okay, but if they arrive with no knowledge of it, you're on top of it by the time you try and do anything about it.
Will Davison trying to hold on. He escaped okay out of that.
Stone Brothers Racing celebrating 10 years on track. Ah, here we go. Big lock-up. Now, I wonder whether the throttle's jamming or something down there as well. So he may well have had a chunk of rubber coming off. Either way, rubber, dirt,
it's just about
electronic glitches,
everything else.
All of it's pretty ugly. Scaife is in the braking area for turn number 2.
Steve Owen and Lee Holdsworth. A little bit of push and shove, argy-bargy.
And remember...
Oh, 3 wide. This is going to end in tears.
Very difficult to go 3 wide up into turn 11. And around goes Lee Holdsworth. Steve Owen in the mix with Max Wilson.
Look at Max Wilson go, what are you guys doing? Get out of my way.
Gary Rogers will be tearing his hair out.
And an incident here at turn 2 on the Zinger replay will involve Russell Ingall side by side with Richards. Tangle off and back on.
So that was at turn 3. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And this is James Courtney. Car starting to position now for the compulsory pit stop. Car number 14.
And now it's a race to the flag.
Maybe.
Whoa, that's Shane Price. Big impact for the Jack Daniels car number 7.
On the exit of turn 9. And depending on how much damage, this could be another safety car intervention. That's an awkward spot. Shane's out of it, which is good. He's all okay, but sufficient damage that we're not able to go racing, and the flatbed truck is racing out to grab that car at the moment. So Alan Gurr and Shane Price in a weird one there. I'd say interlocking wheels, and it's flicked Shane into the wall. A little bit of contact there between Scape. Oh, trouble. Owen and one of the Valvoline cars.
Lee Holdsworth and Jason Richards goes off to avoid it.
They'll be stuck there.
Definitely the GRM car is stuck.
Oh, that's a big drill.
Push on, catching you on, because there's too much damage on the tyre. Okay, come in this lap then.
Steve Owen talking to Oscar, and actually damaged both sides of the car and the front of the car.
Through to turn 2. He'll come zooming into picture here. Wham! And collects Lee Holdsworth and Jason Richards.
Maybe went in there too hot, or it might have been helped along. Here's another look again. Oh, he just gets moved over. So he's up the inside. He was battling with Max Wilson. Once he got on the grass, he had absolutely no chance of pulling up. My eyes were focused in the bottom right-hand corner because Wincup and Scaife were getting together down there at 2. And this is the damage on Lee's car. Remember, this car has just been resurrected from the big incident at Winton. Todd Kelly with a margin over Rick Kelly. Did you see the way Mark Winterbottom's car was shaking when we were on board at the start and trouble at the rear as they exit turn 1?
That looked like one of the Tasman Motorsport cars, probably Greg Murphy. Oh, contact here between Davison and Winterbottom.
This will cause some chaos, and it has. Ingles in the middle of it, crunched him hard. Big damage for Ingle. It'll be big damage on Winterbottom's car as well.
No worries, bring it back into the pits.
Big impact on the front. Big impact also on Jason Bright's car.
Big chance we'll have a safety car here. Murphy's off the road as well, and that was Jason Bright. So expect to see the safety car deployed. Look at the damage on the front of Winterbottom's car.
He was stuck with nowhere to go.
Here it is in replay, and for some reason Will Davison and Mark Winterbottom rub panels in the braking approach to 4, and then once this happens you know it'll be chaotic because Russell had nowhere to go, crunches into Winterbottom, and then everybody else scrambling. They can't see, there's smoke, there's dust. Will this reveal a bit more of the story? That's looking from Mark Winterbottom's car.
Watch what's coming though. Watch this. Oh!
And Bright was into the back of Ingle, and the rest of them scrambled through. Here it is again from the different angle. By that stage, Winterbottom was already crossed up. Actually, when you consider the amount of traffic and the congestion through turn 4 there, you almost expect there to be more trouble.
Seeing the pictures, you're in the car. You can see it now here from the onboard view from, I think that's Will Davison there. What are your thoughts?
Watching it, you know, when you're in the car, you can't actually tell what
Stephen ran wide down there, then that made the job that much easier. This is up in the valley here. 3 forwards into 1 doesn't really go. And that kind of equalises the damage on the right-hand side of the car for Will Davison's car.
It certainly may well have been the best qualifying performance for Will Davison. He's certainly in the walls. And not only that, he's actually losing a couple of kilometres an hour down the straight.
Todd trying to make a run on the inside there on his teammate.
You're clear to come into pit lane.
Oh, and Scape's had a little bit of contact in the rear. It's allowed Todd Kelly to sneak up the inside. Scape got a tap and had to catch it on cold tyres. Trouble. Courtney turned around on the exit of 1 into the wall, and more huge damage for Stone Brothers Racing. What a disastrous weekend for them.
Taken out, guys.
Remember that James Courtney had a rollover in practice on Friday. Ingle yesterday with a big impact. And now it's happened to Stone Brothers again and Jack Daniels.
And the car that made contact with James was Stephen Johnson in the Jim Beam Racing Ford, I think.
Makes me wonder then what Stephen Johnson was doing back there. Look at Whincup. Having a look, he's made contact. That Simon Will's gone off.
Exit of turn 4.
Whincup definitely made contact.
Whincup 3rd, then Tander, Winterbottom, Scaife. We'll have an answer here as to what happened.
Head down.
This will be Simon Wills with Greg Murphy behind him. Stephen Johnson in there.
So Johnson and Murphy were the ones in behind Wills. Computers, just the way the timing system works in Australian motor racing, only updates once. Oh, Gurr, big trouble. Big trouble. This will be a safety car. And this is at turn 4?
It is. It's the way into turn 4. That's big damage to the tyre wall on the right-hand side as we saw it, the left-hand side of the track. He has got front, rear, side, damage all over that car. He's moving okay inside the cockpit.
It's a massive shot.
Hit the wall pretty hard. Watch where that ute hit the wall.
There's fluid on the road here. It's obviously damaged the front end. See whether the replay tells us more about it. There was another car involved. And it's Fabian Coulthard, the other car. But we don't know the details of how and why. But it's fired it into the fence at a great rate.
Debris all over the track at turn 4. Alan Gurr, the Irwin Industrial Tools entry is stranded. They've bashed him around the ears from pole position, and Jamie Whincup goes from first to third.
There's trouble at turn 1, and the safety car is being told to get ready. So I saw one of the Jack Daniels cars all crossed up in the dirt there. Scaife leads, Tander's in behind, Whincup drops back to third. There's still some carry on down at 2. Gee, it just got a bit wild here. Now let's have a look and see what happened to...
That's Alan Gurr and one of the Team BOC cars, or both of them.
Andrew Jones, car number 12, was the other car involved. So Gurr pointing the wrong way on the exit of turn 3. Lowndes up the inside as well, into the back of Courtney, and in turn hit by Rick Kelly. It triggers a concertina, and around goes Stephen Johnson and one of the Team BOC cars. You can see that coming when they all went nose to tail down there. It's typical Simon Wills.
We saw that. Just keep it calm. Make sure the car's all right.
Half a pound out of left rear, mate.
Yes, please.
This is the action that unfolded. You can see Stephen Johnson got turned around 360. Max Wilson avoided him. Simon Wills got caught up in the back.
Just like halfway through the stop, it just goes bang, goes straight to the floor, and there was absolutely nothing there. I was heading straight to the fence, so I decided to spin it round. Yeah, I can see that on the telemetry.
And he's had a brake issue. It says the pedal went to the floor, and the car's just fired off down there at 6. From that angle, it looks like there could have been contact, but there wasn't any contact. Just some kind of a brake issue for the WPS team, unfortunately.
Behind the leading VE Commodore. Going to ride the bumps. Feel like you're on a trampoline. Shane Price and Andrew Jones down at turn 3. Just to give him that feeling.
Oh, and we're just in time to see Ellery get crossed up and have a moment in the dirty stuff on the outside of turn 2. And he's still got the engine running and up and away once again.
Yeah, right. We've got about 6 laps left here. Just bring it home.
Absolutely gone.
He's just out in the dirty stuff there, and that's what caused him the problem.
Yeah, we can see that, mate. You've been pretty wounded the last couple of laps. Just keep on going. We'll get to the finish and see if we can see.
Good news there for Rick Kelly, who just snuck through on the inside of all that.
And this is the incident that involved Paul Wheel. Just locked it up, going the wrong way at turn 3.
He tried to catch it. He locked the rear brakes here just as he was turning the car in, so he didn't have all the speed wiped off it, and it's rotated through 180 degrees. And then when he's tried to gas it up and go...
4 cars into turn 3. Kelly goes wide. Rick Kelly has a look on the inside. Todd, Max Wilson, Jason Richards caught in the middle. Contact for Max Wilson. He's got troubles there on the front left. They all know it, they can see it, and they'll all buy into it.
Todd Kelly's been absolutely battered from pillar to post there. Dropping a pile of spots.
Copy that, Max. Stay on it, mate. Stay on it.
Is the lead for Garth Tander from Jamie Whincup. Round turn 3. Some action at the rear with Jason Bargwanna, Steve Owen and Stephen Johnson all caught up.
And I think Stephen Johnson is now actually in the pit lane, so Bargwanna with nowhere to go there. And here's the result of all that.
And I'm pretty sure that that was his outlap from his pit stop. So Steve Owen in the Autobahn entry. This will hopefully explain it at turn 1. Shoots wide. Now it's a matter of holding on. And the gravel does its job.
At that stage, it's a bit hard to see. He might have been forced wide by other cars, and it's very dirty offline down there, or maybe they had a problem with a wheel.
Look at his mirror dangling off. He's had a little rub on the side there somewhere.
Looks a bit vulnerable right at this restart scene. He's dropping off the road here and there. That'll mean that Mark gets a run on him here up into 6 as well as we look rearward. Look at this, Scaife down the inside. He's got him and makes contact. So as soon as James went wide of that ripple strip, and James will drop a few spots here.
This is the move from inside Mark Scaife's car. You'll see a little bit of a whack here. Bang, out of my way.
Now Kelly has a bit of a look back on the inside of Stephen Richards up at 6. Runs to the outside. He'll try and crisscross and come underneath, which he now does, and does it well. Comes up the inside. That ideally positions him for... Oh, round goes Richards. They make contact. And Richards to the infield, gets it steering the right way again.
Amazing that he's brought it back on.
We'll report it and the taping gets a pit lane penalty.
What control, and Paul Morris has gone off too. That's down at turn
mate,
one.
That's pretty out of line by Todd there, mate.
Unbelievable. What an absolute wanker.
Craig's a little bit quicker by a 1/10 of a second. And the fastest lap of the race has been done by Jason Bright. Here it is again in replay, the issue between Todd and Stephen Richards. Well, I need to stop and think about that one as to who did what there. It looked like...
And then further down, this is what happened to Paul Morris. He dives on the inside. Whoa!
I couldn't work out why he dropped all that time. So here we go again, and they get off the corner. There's a little bit of grinding here, but I think it's when Richo slides a little on the dirt on the outside. It's hard to say. You need to stop and study those ones carefully, frame by frame. But Todd could have been going left, Richo could have been going right, and you don't need much of an awkward overlap, and you'll flick the car around that's in front. And there's Paul Morris wandering wide as a result.
In front of him was Jason Richards in 10th.
Now Ellery on the outside in a very awkward spot, so awkward that his teammate almost ends up in his own car. Whew, got the job done. You do not want to be on the outside down there at turn 1. Whew, got away with it.
That could have been so ugly, so dangerous.
That was about to add up to a big number for Paul Morris. Disappointing run for him. May well have just not been given enough racing room on the outside of turn 6.
This is going to be crazy. Watch this. Steve Ellery and Cam McConville get a little bit caught up into there, down the main straight. And watch this. Ellery will turn around here at the most precarious of positions. Paul Morris goes, what's happening?
The purpose of the weekend is seat time for Stephen Ellery before Sandown and Bathurst. So he picked up the throttle there to try and limit the car from running backwards off the circuit. But did actually keep him on the road, but it gave the other fellas around him a bit of a scare.
Kelly versus Scaife. That's for 6th.
Going to try and crisscross him here and try and get up the inside. Courtney's in here as well. Whoa! Round he goes. Did Scaife do that on his own, or did James touch him?
They were close. They were really, really close. Mark Scaife ends up in the dirt. This is the incident right on the last. Well, James Courtney has definitely made contact with Scaife.
That's not good. So that's an error that will be penalised for James Courtney to give him a tap there at that point. When you make nose-to-tail contact like that and you hurt another competitor's chances, then two things that happen there. Scaife will have something to say about that, I've got no doubt, and so will race control.